What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is me, Dr. Ricky McCray. Listen, I'm going live this morning because I just want to share some things that are really just on my heart. Um, I want to share some things in my heart about writing. I've just had a book signing this past Saturday. That was on the 17th. And you know, what I recognized was I had a lot of people, coming up to me and talking to me about, their desire to write a book. They're like, man, I feel like, I need to be writing a book. I need to be writing a book. And how do I do that? And so I want to talk a little bit about that process of writing a book. I think I see Keith. What's going on, bro? I believe all of us have a story, and whether that is you writing your personal story or you writing something else that you just feel led to write. So I'm waiting a little bit. Let me make sure that some people get on today, but I want to share some things about writing for those of you out there who saying, you know what, I feel like I need to write a book. I feel like I need to share either my story, or perhaps you are a fiction writer. You writing stuff that doesn't happen, or you doing fantasy or something like that, which I've done in my first book. I created a story trying to help people, and especially kids, understand the true meaning of Christmas. It was something that I made up. So I have the experience of, writing stuff that, I've made up, but also writing my story, which is the second book. And so this was impromptu. I just wanted to share it. Make sure you share this so some people can get this. But for me, I just thought it was important to just share a couple tips with people. I'm gonna wait just a couple more minutes before I jump into some of these things. So if you make sure you share this because I want to get some people out here. So if you want to be a writer, or you want to share your story, or you've got some stuff in your mind, and really just if you having a dream about doing something or starting a business, all of this is the same place. You start from the same place. If you want to start a business, you want to write a book, any of those things that you want to do, I promise you, I want to give you some tips on just how to get started. So if you will, this is kind of a writing and beginning clinic. And so I want to make sure we got to wait a couple more minutes. Listen, make sure you share this with somebody. I want to give out some tips. Like I said, this was impromptu. But I wanted to share this. I want to share this because I think it is important. If you are out there and you say, man, you right, I want to write a book. I want to start this business. Maybe you just want to make a shift in life and do something different. I want to share some stuff with you. What's going on, Dr. Kevin Parrish? What's up, man? Me and Jeff talk about you all the time, bro. So I want to make sure if you want to write a book and you say, I want to write a book, I want to start something different, whether it's fantasy, whether it's your own story, I want to just give you some tips this morning. Make sure you share this. I want to get some tips that I'm giving out tips for those of you who have all these ideas in your head. They stuck up here and somehow they have not come out. They haven't come to fruition. If you got ideas in your head that you can't or have not been able to execute, I want to share some tips with you today. If that is you, just send up a like, send up a heart. Say, man, you're right, Dr. McCray. I got ideas. I got all kind of stuff up here, but somehow I just can't seem to execute it. I can't seem to bring it to fruition. I can't seem to figure out the steps to get it from my head and my heart to down here on paper or to fruition and make it happen. So I want to share some tips with you today on that. So here it is. I'm going to start. As I know some people are going to come and be able to watch this later. Like I said, this was impromptu, but I felt it on my spirit, my heart to share it. So I'm just going to share it. The first thing that you got to do when you have this idea in your head, whatever it is, the Bible declares that you must, that you have power to speak those things that are not as though they were. Sometimes I have learned that I need to speak it, right, before I even start writing. And you say, what? Don't I need to write this thing down first? It is something about speaking, saying it out loud that makes it real. Man, and I ain't even talking about sharing it with somebody first. I'm talking about talking to yourself, to hear yourself say it out loud. Hey, I'm going to write a book. Hey, I'm going to start this business. Hey, I'm going to do this. To say that to yourself, to make it heard out loud, makes it real. That is the beginning of it being real. It has now moved from your head, right, to your mouth. Why is that important? Because the Bible tells us that the power of life and death is where? In our tongue. Ooh, this is good stuff today. Man, I want you to share this with somebody. I'm sharing with you my process. If you are stuck today, having ideas up here, but you can't seem to get them out, I'm sharing with you how to do that. This is my process. I speak it out loud first. Right? I say that thing out loud, put it out in the atmosphere. Right? And then after I've put that thing in the atmosphere, I will go and I will begin to write down the idea. Right? And some of you've got some stuff written down. There's some of you got some, I want to, you jotted down some ideas, right? I've got it written down. Here's where it gets really important. This is good too. Here's where it gets really important, because once you have jotted this thing down, and I told you, you spoke it out loud, you jotted it down. Now, and I know this is the crazy part, for some of you, you're going to really struggle with this. Tell somebody. You say, what? I don't have all the plan. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. And you come up with a whole list of stuff of why you can't say this out loud. I'm going to tell you now, you don't have to have a plan. The idea in the beginning is enough to share, to say, hey, you know what? I'm really, trusted people that you love, and say, really, I've come up with some ideas that I want to write a book, that I want to start a business, that I want to do this, that I want to do that, right? Because now you have some accountability. Now you have somebody else who is involved in your process. Yes, because there's some of us, if you're the only person that know yourself, you'll let yourself down and you'll be like, well, and let yourself off the hook, and you ain't gonna remind yourself. You'll come up with all kind of excuses for yourself of why you couldn't do it. Is this for somebody this morning? I really hope this is for somebody. I hope you would share this with somebody. I hope somebody gets this, right? So I've got it where I've spoken out loud to myself. I've written it down, and it don't, like I said, please do not get caught up in trying to figure out all the details of the plan, right? Do not do that. I just want you to write down your idea. And then I want, with a trusted person, share with them that you have this idea. Now, here's what I've learned, because sometimes our dreams can get snuffed out when we share it with somebody who may not understand the intentions of us sharing it. And so I want to make sure that when you're sharing it, you let them know, hey, this may not be something I'm doing today. I want to share this with you because this is something that's on my heart to do. And what I'm going to ask you to do, right here it is. Here's the action thing that I'm going to ask you to check on me and say, hey, how are you with this process? How are you with getting things together, right? You make sure, like, because sometimes people will start asking you questions and you may feel a little overwhelmed. They're like, you don't do this. How you going to do this? Da, 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 da. The purpose of sharing it, right, is just so that they are involved in the process and can ask you how you're doing with it, right? And then also, I've learned that it is through questioning. Like, my wife is really good at that. So what are you going to do about this? And what about this? And instead of you getting offended because you don't have all those answers yet, be able to say, you know what, that's a good idea. I don't know yet. Let me go back. That's a great place to start. I'll start writing down some stuff about what I need to do and how I need to do that. And I haven't thought about that. These are really good things. Learn to see questions as opportunities. Man, this is really good. You learn to see questions as opportunity versus opposition. Man, we're like, we need to like tweet that, put that out. Listen, I want you to use that. Learn to see questions as opportunities and not opposition. And this is going to be important. So I hope you are getting this. I hope you're getting this. Anybody getting this? So I want you to share this. Because like I said, I want to be a blessing to you. But I talked about saying it out loud, writing it down, telling somebody, taking those questions as opportunities to go into research, to go and get the answers, right? And instead of looking at it as opposition and you shutting down because they gave you questions and you looked at it as it was a negative thing, okay? Okay, so when it comes to especially writing books and also these, you're starting some new business or things like that, I always do something called like free writing. And so what I do is I just allow myself to write down all the ideas. I'm not trying to format it. I ain't trying to make it look like a certain thing, sound like a certain thing. I am just writing down all my ideas. I'm just getting them out of my head onto the paper about that thing. Some of that stuff won't pan out. Some of that stuff's going to be far left, far right. Some of it's just going to be crazy. You ain't going to be able to do it. But at the end of the day, get it written out. I promise you. First of all, there is something powerful when I write down the vision, right? Ooh, that's biblical. That's biblical, right? The Bible tells us that write down the vision, make it plain. Now you can be able to run with it. And so I want you to write it down. There's going to be something powerful about writing it down and reading it. Writing it down and reading it. I hope this is being helpful for some people today. I hope this is being really helpful. So listen, for those of you who, like I said, you are in that process, or you're trying to get things from your head to execution, right? I'm sharing with you some steps in doing that. And then I want to continue on doing this. I'm not going to give you everything all at once, but I want you to start with that process, right? I want you to start with that process. And I need you to, can I just say this? I need you to understand that when you begin to write this down, what you'll begin to develop out of this is why you are doing it. This is what I want you to take some time to think about. Why do I want to write? Why do I want to write my own music or sing? Why do I want to produce my own movie? Why do I want to start my own business? Why do I want to go back to school? Why do I want to change jobs and fields? And why do I want to share my story? Why do I want to do this? Why do you want to do that? I want you to start thinking about your why. As you're putting this all down, what is at the heart of it? What's at the heart of why you're doing it? And all of this will lead to some other things that I'll talk to you later about purpose. And so I want you to just understand that as you're moving forward, that you can move from the idea in your head to executing it and it being down on paper, or it being a real tangible thing that you can touch and that others can experience. That I believe that I have been doing that my whole life. And not realizing that that was a gift to be able to take something from my head and my heart and make it something that can be put in people's hands. Man, that's what I want to help you do. Matter of fact, I've got some stuff from books that I've written. Just go to drrickymccrae.com. You can pick up some of my books. But also, I really pushing people toward my YouTube channel, Dr. Ricky McCrae. I'm going to be sharing more things like this. So I just want to make sure that you've got somebody who is going to get you, helping you, trying to get you out of that place of being stuck. And having your ideas stuck in your head and your heart. And we want to get those ideas from your head and your heart to someone's hands. All right. So thank y'all so much for allowing me to just share with you this morning. I pray that this is a blessing to you. And I pray that God will bless the works of your hands. You can do this. Let's get it.